Hi, I'm Deborah Manfrey, and you tuned in to Financially Fit. On my show, we talk all things mindset, finance, and fitness. And the best part, I get to do it with the people I love. You're watching Financially Fit. Welcome to another episode of Financially Fit, and today I have someone that I truly admire her. She's so inspiring to me. Since the day I saw her, we actually got connected at the gym. She was working out. And when I saw her, I was like, wow, she was like with a notebook, like very focused, very disciplined. And that like made me feel like instantly drawn to her, like her determination, which is passion for fitness. And we started talking right away. And once we started talking, I realized that she was also from Brazil and we had this instant connection. So without delay, I want to introduce to you guys Annabel DaSilva.
What an introduction. How sweet.
Yes.
I still remember the first day that we met.
Yes.
Your energy and mine just clicked.
Yes, it was an instant connection.
It really was.
And your passion through fitness, I saw that while you're working out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I want you to introduce yourself for people that don't know who Annabel it is. Introduce yourself.
Where do I start? I don't even know. Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Annabel. As she mentioned, yes, I am an IFBB Pro. I won my Pro card in 2018 when I was living in India. Now, how did I get to India? Because I'm not Indian. Born and raised in the United States. My parents are Brazilian. And I moved to Brazil for high school. While I was in Brazil, I got into modeling. Modeling is what brought me to India. But before that, wow, I feel like I'm backtracking so much. So it was modeling. And then I lived about 10 years in Asia. And the last 5 of those years were in India. And that's when I really got into fitness because India is very accepting of bigger body types.
Wow.
Whereas other countries in Asia that I went to, like China, Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, they all want very, very tiny girls. And I had a very unhealthy relationship with my body, just trying to be as small as possible and never happy in my own skin.
Yes, and let's start with that. Like I saw as we talked that you share very openly that you struggled with the body image. Mm-hmm. And I think we as women, it's very, very normal for us to feel like uncomfortable on our own skin at times.
Yes.
And I guess modeling,
modeling at such a young age just triggered that for me. It was a lot of things because I left home at 17. My parents were against me modeling. And I just fell into this world where if I'm not the exact measurements that I signed my contract with, they would cut my pocket money, meaning that I would have no money for transportation, to eat food during the week. It was wild, and that happened many times. But I could never be vocal about it to my parents because they would say, come back home.
Yes.
I didn't want to go back home. I wanted to live life in Asia and travel the world. That was
how old when you left Brazil?
17.
Wow, I left Brazil at 17 too. So I know,
crazy.
very young. Yes, very young and brave and courageous.
Courageous, yes. And wanting to be independent and prove to people that I can do this.
Yes.
And that's why I think, I'm sure you can relate to this, but at such a young age, even the hardships that you go through, you kind of just deal with it yourself and you're not very vocal about it.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what did you learn from that experience becoming like a model and dealing with so much and not feeling good on your own skin? Because I can't even think of somebody having to measure my, like I work out for fun and I enjoy because I want to look good, because I want to feel good, because it just brings my mindset to a different place.
Yeah.
But not, being so young.
I think I was so young, so it just became my normal. It was like, oh, okay, every week I get weighed. Every week they measure me, and I need to be so skinny. And I was a shorter model, so I had to be even skinnier because the tall girls look like long and lanky, and I was shorter, so I had to be extra skinny.
And you dealt with eating disorders too.
I did, because I realized that if I eat and I gain weight, I don't know, in my head at that age, it was just maybe if I eat and if I throw up, I won't gain weight.
Wow.
And so I dealt with that for a while.
And you didn't feel good enough, I'm sure.
No, definitely not. I was never happy. And I look back at pictures now where I was extremely thin. And I remember in that moment thinking, I'm fat. Like, this is not great.
Wow. And you look amazing now. I can't even imagine you skinny. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I've come a long way for sure.
how was India? Like, so because of modeling, you moved to India.
Yes, because of modeling, I moved to India. And at that point, I kind of wanted to stop modeling. I was never planning to go to India because everybody talks about India like it's this place you're not going to be emotionally ready to see that. It's too much poverty, blah, blah, blah.
How is it?
It's nothing like that. I mean, yes, there it is. I lived in Mumbai, so it's a city of contrast. There's very wealthy people and very poor people, but it's not like poverty in your face as they show in like documentaries and on the TV. It was amazing. I loved it so much and I worked so well there. And my original contract was supposed to be 3 months. I extended it to 3. And then, no, my original contract in India was supposed to be 3 months. I extended it to 6. And after 6 months, I went back home, packed my bags and moved to India for good.
Wow.
Yes, because I loved it so much. And so as I said, before India, I was very skinny and like I could not gain weight. In India, I started working out and I started gaining weight and my agency didn't say anything. They didn't even weigh me or measure me. So month after month, I saw that I was gaining weight. I was gaining muscle. They never said anything. And soon enough, I gained like 10 kilos. I wanted to become a bikini competitor. And I created this little niche for myself in India where anytime they needed a fitness model, they would bring me on board. So that was pretty cool.
That's amazing that you were able to, like go from modeling to a fitness model and inspire so many women to just go and take the journey as a fitness model and take care of your body. So how did it go for you? This is like, how was in the beginning, even like competing, like how was to become an IFBB Pro? Because that is a lot of dedication.
It is. I mean, the standard back then is very different than it is now. Like now the women are highly competitive. If you were to see the structure of a bikini competitor back then and now. So I dove into working out, gaining muscle, loved it. I saw my first bikini show in India and there were only 5 girls because the division and bodybuilding was so new in India. But I saw those 5 girls up on stage and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to compete. So luckily I had great people around me and they said you need to train a little bit harder. It's too soon. Like you just started. So put in a couple more years, build a foundation and then you can compete. So I did that for about 1.5 years and I competed. And
how was it when you told your parents like, now I'm not modeling anymore, I'm gonna compete?
I never completely stopped modeling. I was still modeling in India. Yeah. I was doing both things. But towards the end of my 5 years in India, it was mainly fitness jobs, fitness commercials, fitness shoots. It wasn't just hair, beauty, different commercials that I was used to doing.
And how did that go for them? Were they excited? Or?
Mom was excited. My mom is like an angel. She is just supportive in anything. For me leaving the house at 17, she pushed me. She was like, you do you. Whatever your dreams are, follow them. My father... not so much, especially when I told him that I wanted to step on stage in a tiny bikini. For him, it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why
they don't see it as a sport.
What is this, for attention?
Yeah.
He doesn't see it as a sport. I wish he could actually see how difficult it is mentally. I think that's why I love it so much. When I first said that I wanted to be a bikini competitor, people were like, you're crazy. You're going to have to take steroids. You're not going to be able to do this naturally.
Because you're so skinny.
Because you're so skinny, exactly. But I was like, no, I can do this. And I think I just took all of those no's and negativity. And a lot of people would let that affect them, right? And say, maybe this isn't for me. But no, I took that and it was fuel. And I said, no, I'm going to prove everybody wrong because I can do this because I believe in myself. And I'm willing to put in the work. Even though it's going to take years, I can do this.
Good for you.
And I did it.
It took a lot of courage again.
For sure, it did.
Yeah, it's leaving home like, such a young age. I think that we really built a strong foundation.
Yes.
Of really knowing who you are, trying to figure things out and not be afraid, being very fearless. I think that's something that I learned a pattern, like leaving home. You just have the courage. You build that because there's no one to... If you fall, nobody's going to pick you up.
Someone's there. You have to
yes,
figure it out. Yeah.
Coming to this country, I moved here when I was 18. And
what did you do when you first came here? Was it for studies or?
It was so bad back home. I had a really rough, dysfunctional childhood. So when I moved here and I really finally decided, I was just looking for a new beginning, in which I couldn't leave the way I was living.
Okay.
My parents are divorced. It was just a lot of fighting. It was just a lot. And when I came here, I had a friend of a friend that allowed me to stay at their house for 2 weeks. And even when I arrived at JFK, because I actually came to New York, there was no one waiting for me in the airport. And it was just like, okay, like this is interesting. And I took a cab to the person's job and I sat there all day and waited all day for him to finish his shift so I could go home. And on the way there, he was like, by the way, you only have 2 weeks to be here. You got to figure out a job. You got to figure.
Goodness.
Yeah. And I was like, are you for real? But you know, like,
What did you do?
so it was so he worked in the city and he lived in Queens and Astoria, which a lot of Brazilians
So many
live.
Brazilians.
I know. You go to Queens.
You were in the right spot.
Yes. So I just remember, like, he would go to work, and the first few days I would just walk on the streets looking for the flag because I didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any other language but Portuguese. And with the flags, I walk into our hair salon. I saw the flag and I was like, "Does anybody speaks Portuguese here?" And they're like, "Yes, come in." And there was a lady getting her hair done there. And I was like, I desperately need a job, like anything. And she was like, I need a babysitter, a live-in babysitter. And I was like,
my God, how perfect.
I don't believe in
fell from
I don't believe in coincidence. I truly believe that
everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Same.
Yes, life happens for us.
Yes.
You know, I say God always has my back. I mean, back then I didn't understand that, but now looking back, I see so much
see so much,
protection. You know, that he just protected me in so many ways. But she was like, I was like, this is what I need, and I can't remember right now, like making $200 a week. I felt like I won the lottery.
The queen.
Taking care of 2 kids, I felt the queen. I had a job, and that's how it started for me. So
Amazing.
It took a lot of courage to leave everything behind,
Of course.
and just start fresh, like you.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
It does.
But it also builds a muscle. I don't know if you can see in you, like a faith of courage that
Yes.
you just know that you're always gonna be okay, even if it's the worst thing you're going through. You see,
You're going to find a way.
yeah, there's always, because it's whatever you focus your energy, your attention on, it's gonna grow.
Yes.
And I always try to focus on the good. What is this teaching me? Or maybe what is this protecting me from?
Yes, that's a great way to see things.
You know, and then that's, you know, I didn't have this, obviously, mentality at a young age, but I just, you know, went through it.
It developed, right?
Yes,
It's
and
something that
so many bad things could have happened to me at 18. I'm sure you're...
I say this all the time. Like, if I were to go a little bit more in depth, just like the situations that I got myself in out there, the things that I did, like, I must have really, really strong
Angels,
guardian
God.
angels.
Yes.
I'm finally giving them a break. They're like, oh my God, this girl almost killed us.
I know, that's how I feel too. But I made it, and it was the best. You know, like,
I always feel like the universe, God, whatever,
Has
uses
your back.
us for a purpose. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn, how did I survive all of this?
Yes.
But I really think that it's for us to shed light onto others by sharing our experiences and
I
showing.
agree. I always say God has our back.
Yeah.
You know, like he has our back, and you can see through it your own experience. But since we're talking about like things, can we talk about, I know you got recently divorced.
Yes.
How is that, like, you know, like affecting your life right now? It takes a lot of to be honest. As you know, how was it for you? Like, because I'm sure you got married thinking that was going to be
Forever. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to
A
ask.
heavy question. No, it's okay. How did it affect me? Well, it happened last year in August. We knew in like May, but the actual divorce happened in August. And what can I say? Like, yeah, you marry with the intention of being forever with this person. I had all of these plans. I'm going to get pregnant before 30. We're going to save for a house. Like, you create your life with this person. That was it. He was it for me. But what do you do when you realize that that's not it, actually? And it was such a conflict in my head of like, but I made vows And I promised that no matter what, this is my person and I'm supposed to fight and make it work. But like, up until what point do you go?
Yes.
You know, there are things that, like you said, my values.
Yeah,
I can't accept this, and I value myself more, and I value my happiness and my peace of mind, and
Correct.
what is best for me. This relationship isn't it. But what got me into a depression was not the fact that our relationship was over. It's everything that I dreamed of is now no more.
Yeah.
And it was just like, can I curse on here?
No.
Okay. Well, I was just like, poop.
Yes.
Like, I never imagined myself to be 28, married, divorced, and like, what now? Now I have to go through it all over again. I need to meet somebody and like go through all the stages. And then by the time I have kids, it's going to be like 35. And I just
All
didn't
the
want to
plans.
accept it. Yeah, it was so difficult. And not only that, but like when I decided the divorce to sign the papers and everything in August, I literally had 2 weeks to move out, find a place to live, buy my own car because we were sharing his car for the entire time. Wow. So it was just like
So many changes, so quick.
So many changes. It wasn't like the best thing financially for me, but like I did it.
You did it, girl.
I did it. But yeah, it was that stress too. So I think because I had such limited time, like I need to move out, I need to buy my car, I need to figure
lot
out
of stress.
all of my stuff, I need to buy furniture. I moved into the place that I was at and I was sleeping on the floor for the first week.
Wow.
But it was the most peace that I had in a very long time.
Yes.
To know like I'm out.
And how did you feel like you got yourself, like, when did you realize you got into depression? Because people don't realize, I think I know how much work is. I've been divorced before. It's a lot in your body. Even if regardless you love the person or you don't. On my case, on my second marriage, I was able to make it work, which I'm very grateful, and it was the best thing for my family. I don't regret a bit. But not everyone is able to make it work. Like, when did you realize that you fell into a depression?
It was probably our last month living together. It was that's even hard, knowing that you're already doing it. You're going to get divorced. You're looking for places. You're trying to figure everything out, and you're still living with the person. That was the hardest period for me, the hardest month. I remember, I think I'm just a very strong-headed person. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's like God that got me out of it, because it was really rough. I remember laying on the couch and just feeling like I was sinking. It is wild to me because I would always talk about depression like, people are lazy. Like, how do you wake up not feeling like doing anything in the morning? How do you wake up knowing that you have all of these things to do during your day and you don't do anything?
Yeah.
How are you so sad that you can't get up? And then I was living it and I was like, whoa, this is real.
And it's coming from somebody that, because I met you before while you were married, which was probably like about a year and a half, 2 years. And you're married and you focused, determined, working out, like so consistent with your workout. And I remember you sharing on Instagram, like a lot of your dedication, through fitness, because it's a big passion for you.
Yes,
and all of
everything.
us. Yes, and being on the couch, like you said.
I feel like that also helped me out of depression, even though I wasn't 100% the athlete that I know I should be, because I was supposed to compete last year.
Yes.
But I was not in the mind space. Like, you're not supposed to compete when you're stressed and when you're not in a great headspace. And I wasn't in it last year.
And I think it's beautiful that you honestly share this, that you realize as a strong, you're a strong woman and you're very courageous, but also you realize that you couldn't do it. It's not easy to.
That was another thing that was hard to accept, because I've been waiting like 3 years to step on stage again. And again, I have to push it for one more.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But I think having as I said, like, I wasn't 100% the athlete that I normally was, with taking off the daily boxes of eating all my meals. With the depression, I didn't feel like eating. It was a struggle to get.
So it really got you.
It really did. But training got me out of the house. So at least I had that. I was like, no, this depression can make me feel sad, but it's not going to ruin my goals. Like, I will still get to the gym. And so I made that a point, and I think that really helped me
slowly, right?
Get out of it. Yeah.
So if somebody's going through, listen to it, because fitness is beyond what your body image looks like. It's more of a mindset. That's how
100%.
It's taking care, because your body is your temple. That's the way I see it. You take care of your body by exercising. You take care of your body by eating proper food, proper nutrition, getting your sleep, and fitness is that, But it's amazing to see that someone like you that had been on stage and been so dedicated falling into depression.
Can fall into it.
I didn't know that.
I didn't want anyone to know it.
Thank you for sharing. It can help so many people that might be going through, and it's okay to feel that way. I had ups and lows, and not always, it's always, but what did you learn from? From the divorce, from all
God, that I can do hard things. I think with my marriage too, if I were to tap into that just a little bit more, I became very comfortable, dependent, and I guess those two words, a combination of those two words, comfortable and dependent. So the divorce kind of pushed me into, whoa, I got to do this all over.
Out of your comfort zone.
I need to be like young Annabelle again. I need to be that courageous person who can do things by herself. And it just built my confidence up again, knowing that I can start over.
Yes.
I can do this all over again and by myself.
And do you still believe in love? Because a lot of people get sour when they go to divorce, because all your plans got messed up. So now, how do you feel about
I still believe in love.
Beautiful.
I really do. I think I love that about myself. I've talked about this before, how no matter what happens to me in life, because I've been through so many situations and heartbreak and divorce, it doesn't make me jaded or bitter towards life. I do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I think that's why I'm able to take these negative situations that people would see as extremely negative, and turn it into a positive and just be like, there was a lesson in that, or it just wasn't meant for me. And there's so much peace in that, knowing that there's something better out there for me.
And how was your parents? How did they react?
Sad to see their daughter go through something at such a young age. They didn't expect it. I think it broke them just as much as it broke me. Yeah. But they were there.
That's amazing.
As much as they could be, as much as I allowed them to be.
Correct. Because you also want to protect
I don't want to be a burden. I never want to put my problems on my parents.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And if you give, let's just say, from all the, I would say, competing and stepping on stage and doing things that, like you said, against your body image and all that, what would be someone that's listened to this podcast and maybe is going through a depression or just is thinking about working out, what would be a few tips that you can give them? Somebody that maybe is being up and down with the weight or just feels skinny enough and don't know how to build the body, what could you give a tip?
Okay, I guess anybody who's trying to whether gain weight, lose weight, step on stage, have a big goal, I would say 3 things. You need to believe in yourself, you need to have patience, and you need to be very consistent. And I mean extremely consistent. That's the only way that change and results are going to happen.
I agree. Consistency is the key to everything.
Yes. And patience nowadays is it's the main one, because everybody wants something
instant.
I'm talking Portuguese tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. You need to put in the work.
Yes. And they want to see instant gratification. I start working out today, I want the result.
Check the abs.
But I love that you say take in, put in the work and give some time.
And it'll come. It will.
Because if you guys seen the pictures of Annabelle on Instagram, have before and after, I seen her share. It's amazing. She actually inspires me because I'm on the skinny side and I always wanted to get a little bit thicker. And I'm like, I can do it without taking all those hormones.
Yes.
So it's really amazing that.
But I want to say that it took me over 8 years to get to where I am. And not a lot of people want to hear that.
I know.
They want a year or 2. No, it took 8.
Wow.
But along the journey, even though it takes so much time, you just become, how can I say, just better and better. You learn so much about yourself. It really is the journey and not the end result.
Correct. It's the journey.
Yes.
Everyone wants to get to the goal, and I'm like, just enjoy the journey because that's the fun. It's in the
fun
creating.
part. Yeah.
And I saw something, which I don't know if it's true. Like, do you visualize before you work out something or?
Sometimes. So like for bikini, shoulders are a really big part. So at Bev's, how they have the pictures. So I'll look at like my favorite bikini girl and I'll be like, shoulders like that. Or when I'm working out, I'll be like, I want to have like the best legs on stage. So this is what I'm training for. And I'll imagine it. So I guess I do.
You do.
In a way. Yeah.
But it works.
It does.
You look amazing. It does.
Thank
and
you.
I'm big on the visualization and really, believing, like having the picture, because I think that I will get to your house if I have the address, right? I'm going to pick up my car, put in the GPS. But if I don't know where I'm going, then I'm going to be lost.
Yes.
So
like
it's
you need to visualize to have a sense of direction.
Correct. So I take it as like, okay, it's good that you visualize, because a lot of things that I'm doing, even this podcast, I started and I wasn't aligned. I didn't have an end goal, and I said, wait a second, let me take a step back. And look, what do I want from this?
Yeah.
How can I help people? How can I, and have a goal and like visualize where do I want this to go? And I think that gives us much more meaningful.
This is a whole other conversation just on like visualizing and manifestation.
I love it. I love it because I can tell I believe in that.
Oh my God, my entire life is that.
Good. And it's real and people don't realize it. What do you bring to your life? I always say energy is everything, like how you feel, what do you attract, the opportunities.
What do you do when you feel disconnected? Do you understand? Like sometimes we're so on point and we are able to believe and manifest and visualize and work and just be in this great headspace. But what happens if you get distant from that and you catch yourself not having maybe so much faith or not visualizing? What do you do?
So I say train. People say fake it until you make it. I say train until you become. So I just started learning this about 2 years ago. Okay. So it was not something I was obviously, you always attracting everything that you are, but I didn't know, I wasn't aware. And then 2 years I started learning and I started studying. Now I train so much my mind that it's so hard to fall back. To go back to, you train until you become, just like everything, like you could stay under depression, right? But you pull yourself out. So if it's a day that maybe I don't feel at 1,000%, it's not as often anymore, because in the beginning was more, I would listen, why? Because it's what you hear, what you see, and what you feel, right? I started paying attention how people made me feel. They making me bring in the best of me, any patterns that I'm repeating. I start to see what I was watching that was maybe not, I don't watch and listen to even music effects, because they create feelings. You're singing, your words are powerful.
Yes.
So I started being very aware of the things
that you were listening to?
That I was listening, that I was watching. And whenever I felt a little bit disconnected or maybe a little bit down, I would watch something that picked me right up, or maybe put a song and dance and feel like, yes, baby, I got, and then remembering the fate, how much it took me to
that brought you to get to where you
are. Correct.
Yes.
So I don't really fall back on as much.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I like that, because everybody's always about train the body. Everybody forgets about
the mind. That's what I'm saying. It's body, mind, and soul. Yes. We train, and that's one thing. I went to fitness for the body, but I didn't realize how messed up my mind was. And once I trained that, it is a perfect match.
A great combo.
Yeah, it's a great combo, because it's and you create and you attract and you feel good. And a lot of people won't be in your life, not in the bad way. It's just, there's no space.
I get it.
But in a good way. And that's, I think that's what I would say, is a lot of training, and you become, and you just get your life better and better. But now, what do you do coach too, right? You're a coach.
Yes, I am a coach. So sorry. Ask me the question one more time.
You were a coach. So what kind of coaching you do?
Yes. So it's mainly online coaching now. started in COVID, and then it just carried on.
Do you do dieting or like the diet?
Yeah, so I'll give like someone a training program.
Cool.
Exercise, sets, reps, everything that they need
If
to
somebody's
do.
looking for it, somebody's listening and wants to get in the great shape that this girl has, contact her, because I want people to know where they can find you. You know,
Yeah, basically on Instagram at Annabel.fit.
I will
Just
put you
reach
on.
out. There's even like a little coaching application in my bio.
And you do the diet.
I do
you
the nutrition and the training.
That's awesome. That is
And then we do weekly check-ins. So we follow up. It's very personal. They have my number. Any questions that they have throughout the week,
Love
they
it.
can connect.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful that you were able to make it.
Same.
And hopefully this can help someone that might be going through eating disorders, maybe
Anything, yeah.
body image or
A
depression.
divorce, separation.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.